I can't tell. I don't know. I can't, it's not really computing.
I don't even know. I'm just processing at this point.
To know something and then to have it actually happen.
Really, it's not really, it's just not making sense right now. I don't know what to say.
Welcome back, Sister Wives, now because the scene we're about to break down today isn't simply another family feud, another intense conversation that went down on camera today. The scene we're looking at today is a moment that not only shed new light on the power struggle that has quietly been evolving behind the scenes in this family for years, but also exposes the true jealousy that viewers have suspected all season. Just the rumors have sparked chaos on the internet as fans have taken every bit of information and dissected every glance that went down on camera because, according to sources and whispers among on-set observers, Robyn Brown simply loses it and threatens to blow the set when the possibility, not the reality, but the mere possibility that Kody Brown and an unlikely woman named Janelle Brown may be on the verge of some sort of reconciliation. To see why this moment is significant, it is necessary to see the forest for the trees, so to speak, because Robyn's supposed threat is not an isolated incident. For the last few years, viewers have witnessed one particular dynamic being played out: Kody's assertion that he hates chaos, that he's all about peace, but that his primary focus has to be where it's met with immediate impasses on all other fronts so long as one wife is upset. And Robyn's recognized, whether this is an intentional process for her or not, that her feelings have import. Tears stop the recording. Feeling overwhelmed shifts the plot. Feeling unsafe ends all culpability. Therefore, it should not come as a surprise that whispers start circulating about Kody and Janelle being more open with one another, revisiting certain feelings, perhaps even just being within the same space without it being centered around Robyn, that the dynamic shifts and systems designed for control do not react well. Social media picked up on it right away. Videos started trending. Comment sections lit up. Fans commented on the fact that Janelle has always embodied a very disruptive dynamic to the overall power structure of the family dynamic in general, and to Robyn specifically. In the sense of autonomy, Janelle does not cling. She does not beg. She does not have to perform emotional vulnerability to get anything. She walks out the door when she gets what she wants because of the very simple fact, in the sense of an emotional dynamic, autonomy. Even in her marriage to Kody, the dynamic between Janelle and Kody was very clearly about convenience rather than the emotional need to be understood, which makes a difference because the overall dynamic of the fact that Kody re-engages on an emotional level with someone who doesn't need him to tell her she matters in order to get him to do something makes Robyn the only one who truly gets him an untenable conceit. But let's get into this narrative. Because this didn't happen overnight, Robyn's been narrativized, the narrative being placed upon Robyn by Kody, often by the producers, to as the emotional interpreter, the one who understands his anger, his ways, his mood swings, his actions, his tantrums, by giving other people a favor to do so to give Kody himself grace. The problem here is, this makes Robyn very powerful. If Robyn were to suddenly not be the emotional gatekeeper, the whole dynamic falls apart. So when rumors broke out that Robyn had a strong reaction to what was happening on set, to the point where she threatened to leave the set, it wasn't an emotional outburst people were seeing. It was leverage being used. It wasn't an act to leave the set because Robyn was feeling a certain emotion, the emotion being frustration, anger, sadness, whatever might have been percolating inside of her. It was to remind production, to remind other people in that scenario. And I put this, the reason this moment is so explosive is because of when it happens in this season of *, Sister Wives *. Public opinion is turning, and fans are realizing that a long time ago, when they may have been more sympathetic towards Robyn, that just about the time that the spotlight is turned away from her, things start to go from bad to worse, and that there is a cycle that just keeps starting with Robyn's mood, and it's causing fans to question just what is going on. And when there's a chance that things might go back to Kody and Janelle, which would mean that things would be back to Janelle standing on her own 2 feet. When things go from bad to worse just because that spotlight is turned away from her, It is hardly surprising that this moment is so explosive. At the same time, what Janelle is doing within all this is very unusual. According to sources within the situation, Janelle is neither encouraging a reunion nor asking for anything. She is present within a realm that she is no longer pursuing. Kody, and this could be what draws him to her. Emotionally, Kody may sense even the tiniest bit that pulls him to Janelle. This also reveals the vulnerability associated with the relationship that Kody has with Robyn. This relationship may be founded on exclusivity. Fans are ruthless in their critiques, and some use Robyn's response to prove she wanted nothing to do with plural marriage, only to be in charge of it. However, they also think she's afraid of being replaced, not loved, and threatening to walk off the set of the show. Of all the ways to prove one's point, is no marker of self-assurance in a romantic partnership, but rather of an individual who fears being left out of the story altogether. See, as soon as Janelle's narrative takes hold and her idea to take charge of the situation, to be the voice of reason, and to walk away rather than cause more chaos inspires the audience, all the sympathy in the world shifts from Robyn to Janelle, the woman who picked herself. But what we can't forget is the participation of Kody in all this, because his actions keep pouring gas onto the fire. Kody has offered accolades for volatility and has accused quiet suffering for being disloyal. He demands accountability but backs away as soon as things become uncomfortable for him. If Robyn truly threatened to leave, then it's not Robyn who needs to be scrutinized for her behavior, it's Kody. Does he come after her? Does he appease her? Will storylines accommodate to keep her around because every time they continue to reward such behavior, they're perpetuating what fans seem to be questioning. What we are witnessing is not merely sibling rivalry, but also the subtle demonstration of the workings of power. Emotional expressions are currency, silence is resistance. And the one person prepared to quietly walk away is the one with possibly the most power in the room, Janelle. The hypocrisy here is that the reported meltdown of Robyn may inadvertently have had the reverse effect that she intended to achieve, but instead served only to heighten fascination in one question that viewers are simply not able to move past. What is so threatening about the notion of Kody and Janelle reuniting? Yet as this tension brews on the horizon, it becomes abundantly clear that the carefully constructed image of unity that this family has cultivated will not last in the face of such divisions. The world is watching their every move as never before, and inconsistencies that are exposed on social media continue to accumulate at an alarming rate. The question of whether Robyn's outburst has been based on emotion, strategy, or something in between continues to ignite questions of control and direction. So, I would like to ask you, dear viewer, do you believe this was a point in which Robyn reaches an emotional breaking point, or perhaps a tactical move she is making to keep on top of this story? Should you share your thoughts in the comments below? Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on further updates in this story. And now, as the drama unfolds, it's crucial to break down the ripple effects that Robyn's behavior and subsequent threats to up and leave not only have on Kody and Janelle, but the rest of the family as well. Social media went into an immediate frenzy as videos began to make the rounds on the reported showdown, and reactions from fans have run the gamut from shock to outrage to utter disbelief, fans themselves not only commenting on the apparent intimidation tactics used by Robyn, but laughingly noting the irony that this woman has stood by and presented herself as the calm in the eye of the hurricane, as the stable wife in the family, now threatening to walk on a non-event. This isn't the first time either that there's been a clear pattern of harsh moods directly correlated to Kody's momentary distraction by another wife. What is interesting is the level of psychology going on. Clearly, if this level of dynamic is real, it is representative of the conflict that is evidenced in polygamous family structures where hierarchies of emotion are established. Clearly, for this family, the role that Robyn has established is one that is clearly central. She is, after all, the emotional barometer for Kody, the peacekeeper for Kody between himself and conflict, the storyteller for the rest of the family. However, Janelle's assertion as a stronger, more self-contained character upsets this dynamic. She, unlike Robyn, doesn't need Kody's validation. She doesn't position herself in such a manner that suggests vulnerability in order for her influence to be recognized. It is, instead, her remoteness that challenges the balance that Robyn has established for herself. And, of course, there is the timing. And timing is crucial to events of these kinds, so, as per sources, the reported occurrence took place shortly after the moment where Kody and Janelle were seen to be in adequate public display, all of which was captured rather evasively in the camera shots. Observers of these exchanges, streaming them online, were quick to notice the presence of subtle tensions and even the words that left the air, all of which were indicative of their shared past left untold. For Robyn, it may be the mere presence of the possibility of Kody's emotional sparks being with Janelle that evokes the fear of replacement, long inculcated in her as the primer emotional foundation in the plural, family. Kody, on the other hand, brings his own set of complications to what's already happening in front of him. He says he's looking for peace and resolutions, but he is, in fact, always doing so in ways that perpetuate rather than resolve those conflicts. His exchanges with Janelle look nuanced, or even worse, manipulative, from where I'm standing. His choice to interact with Janelle enough to maintain some sort of communication, for instance, serves only to further Robyn's doubts, creating the perfect storm for what happens next. All thanks to Kody's own doing, according to viewers on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, where thousands of viewers commented on all things body language, intent, and even Kody's possible motives for engaging Janelle while testing Robyn's emotions in the process. What makes this so interesting is the relationship between public opinion and internal drama. Every reaction, every uplifted eyebrow, every hesitation is picked up in the course of the show's production. And it is certainly enough to inspire the imagination of the passionate fan base. Footage of Robyn's supposed tantrum was spreading like wildfire, and social media was awash with interpretation. Viewers analyzed her body language, questioned the level of anger in her voice, and wondered at her motives. It quickly entered a wider conversation about control, about jealousies, about the unpredictability of polygamous families. It was, in short, a microcosm of the wider dynamic of the family, a living lab experiment of how personal problems, personal grudges, and the power of storytelling intersect in very public ways. It is also important to mention that the reaction is not only seen between fans. Some analysts and ex-members of the reality television series have expressed that this reaction typifies what happens every time the wife decides to spread her wings and get beyond the established lines of the family dynamic. This reaction has nothing to do with the individual. On the other hand, Robyn's possible attempt to pack her bags and leave the reality television series may not be only about her attitude. On the contrary, it may be about telling everyone what is happening. The historical context cannot be ignored. Either, for years, the public has been able to observe how Robyn has carefully navigated the storyline of Kody, oftentimes finding herself between Kody and the rest of the wives, as well as keeping herself at the forefront of the family's emotional dynamics. The stoicism of Janelle in not chasing Kody can be noted as a stark reminder of the difference between the two, as it reveals the crucial part of the unfolding drama. The independence of Janelle inadvertently reveals the dependence of Robyn on controlling the situation in order to feel emotionally secure, hence the dramatic reaction to the possibility of one dialogue session between Kody and Janelle. Adding to this level of interest, audience members have also been guessing how the production team might deal with such high-stakes scenarios. In terms of narrative structure, this level of conflict is pure gold. It creates interest, boosts engagement, and retains audience viewership. However, this type of situation also has the potential to disrupt the balance within the family to the level where actual conflict takes precedence over the narrative structure. The audience recognizes this, and the activity on social media reflects this internal struggle between being enthralled by what is happening versus the ethics of what is being taped and aired on the show. The complexity of narrative is also increased by the various insights into their perception of faithfulness and commitment by each of the wives. Whereas Robyn is often shown to be passionately committed to this domestic arrangement, the implication of Janelle's theme is one that is more pragmatic and boundaries-driven. This serves to increase the level of tension because it is indicative of a narrative that must be reconciled from two different perspectives that might otherwise appear mutually exclusive. One of control and a high degree of emotional fidelity, and the other of a high degree of agency and self-preservation. Then, naturally, there's the reaction of the fans, which has been nothing but explosive in nature. Online posts on social networking sites begin to fill with arguments over who's right or who's wrong, with hashtags going viral the moment the video surfaced online. Videos on TikTok break down the videos frame by frame, while Twitter posts begin to analyze the psychology behind the reaction, with Instagram videos beginning to create this dramatic effect by adding commentary on top and emotional music in the background. Fans become more than mere witnesses to the action that unfolds on screen. Instead, they become participants in this story, with their reactions themselves beginning to help dictate how future videos will be presented. Finally, this episode also historically functions as an episode that momentarily locates reality TV. Storytelling within the fragile reality of reality programming. Each reaction, each conflict, each dramatic moment is live not just on camera, but within audience anticipation. This moment, the rumor that Robyn threatened she'd walk away from the show, is thus one moment within a very large reality. This moment within reality TV has set viewers scratching their heads but incredibly eager for the next episode within the even larger reality that reality TV programming has created. Now it's your turn to share your thoughts. Is Robyn's response here a true emotional meltdown, or an astutely considered move to maintain the family's power dynamic? Is Kody's interaction with Janelle here simply a moment of introspection, or a misguided action with the intended effect of raising the stakes? Share your thoughts by leaving your comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so.